Hello, everybody. It's Dan Shrigley. This is just a special announcement to tell all of you, my friends, that every Thursday, once a week, I will be doing a episode for Survival Talk Radio, and we will be covering a bunch of content related to the survival industry, survival skill sets, and pretty much just covering everything that will take you into the ability to have self-sustainment and self-reliance should you ever find yourself in a survival situation in real life. We will touch base with how to navigate terrain, how to build your own map, how to do terrain association, how to do pace count, how to find cardinal direction, how to use everyday items to create compasses, how to generate primitive fire, what things are good for you to take that are commercially produced, and just cover everything that we can just come up with, have a lot of fun in the process, and just give you a really good, healthy dose of education in the survival industry. We will get into topics such as surviving catastrophe, crisis, domestic terror attacks, riots, how to minimize or mitigate risk for crime, just everything. We're just going to go full on, dive into it. We're going to talk about other platforms, other creators and contributors and other experts and what they offer, and try to just share the wealth of love and knowledge and just bring everybody together. Get rid of the egos, the competition, and just try to pull everybody in and just make everybody friends. For many years, it seemed to be very cutthroat in the industry. People were against each other, and I'm not going to play those games. I want to maximize good people that have great content, like Field Days. Matt, he's Australian. He has a great channel. It's been up and running for about a year and a half. He's got about 800,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. He does good content, does fishing, crabbing. He's running around. He's living out of the back of his trooper in Australia. He started out in Indonesia with his girlfriend, Mackie. And Matt and Mackie have now moved to Australia. They've been putting out a lot of episodes. So I'm going to be promoting other people's work like that, that have great content, great entertainment value. Some of these people don't claim to be survival experts. They just love adventure. They like getting out there showing what they know. And sometimes you don't always have to learn from an expert. You can learn from a novice. You can learn from anybody. But these guys have great content out there. I want to touch base with that. I want to point out other people's work, like books and stuff. So if you come and tune into my show, I will always keep you interested. I always share new things with you that I learn. I'm forever a student. Some people call me an expert. I kind of consider myself an expert at certain things, certain skills, but I also consider myself a student more than anything else. More than an expert, I'm just a student of what I love. It's my passion, much like probably a lot of you listeners out there. So the survival show is going to be, excuse me, the survival show is going to be, excuse me, on Apple Podcasts. The Survival Show is going to be on Spreaker, and the Survival Show is going to air on iHeartRadio. So we're going to hit all three of those streamable, downloadable locations where you can listen to the show. If you listen to the radio show and you have an Apple iPhone and you go to Apple Podcasts, there will be a little bit of monotonization, meaning they're going to play commercials and stuff, and that just helps fund the show. And so my show is funded through monotonization, doing commercial and advertising, but they're not that long, so please bear with it. You might hear some advertisement on there that you like, and hopefully they cater the advertisement to the channel. I don't know what they're going to advertise because I don't really have a say-so in that. But it's coming from Apple, so hopefully it's something that caters to you that you like and enjoy listening to. So starting on November 25th on Thursday, and every Thursday of each week, I'm going to put out one episode. And when I get to a point where I can put out more, I might add more episodes as well. But at least every Thursday, I'll put out a minimum of about an hour-long episode, so that you can turn in. Now, I have pre-recorded content on my channel, and you can stream some of that. Some of it's from a few years ago. I took a hiatus. I got away from doing the radio show for quite a while. Just got distracted with work. I got distracted with filming a TV series for Discovery Channel that maybe some of you are unaware of, but it was called Ultimate Ninja Challenge. And we went up to Canada, did a 24-day survival challenge based off of the Kuji principles that were constructed by the Grandmaster Ninja out of Japan from Iga City named Enichi Kawakami. And so I went and did the challenge and did the TV show. The TV series aired in 2018. And it was sometimes a lot of fun, sometimes not a lot of fun. There was a lot of ego, a lot of tension between cast members and stuff like that. So there was some drama. And there was a point in time in this TV series where I go rogue. I'm just like, I'm tired of being bamboozled by these people. And then when I go rogue, they're like, he's not a team player. Like, I can't be a team player because they don't allow me to be, so I'm just going to go do my own thing. So, but anyways, it was an interesting experience. Not quite the survival show I wanted to do. I had this vision of doing a TV show that I designed, developed, concept, and it was called Survival Trek Escape. It never came to fruition, and it almost did, but it just never came about. So maybe here in the future, I might do something like that if I can get a good following behind me, raise the funds to do the production. Who knows? I'm open up to anything. Some of the other things I'm doing in my private life outside of survival, which I've been doing more of that lately, is I want to start an armed security company in the state of California, because that's my home state. That's where I was born. It's where I have my family. It's where, I'm settled down. But I want to start a security company, armed security patrol company, and they'll probably do unarmed and armed. But that's what I want to do, because I want to use the profits from the company to fund my survival platform, start a survival school here in the state of California. I want to do a school in the Death Valley. I want to buy some property out there. So there's a lot I want to do. There's a lot that I can do. But I live in an area of California. It's called the Northern California Bay Area. I live across the bay from San Francisco. And we're within a pretty short drive, a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there. But I could pretty much go anywhere I need to go to film and do it in different climates. So I can drive a couple hours and hit the desert. I can drive a couple hours and be up in, the Lake Tahoe basin area and do some outdoor mountain filming. I can go to the ocean. The ocean is only like an hour drive from me. And, so there's a big redwood forest out here. So it's like a big mix. I want to do get a YouTube channel started where I'm uploading video on fishing. I like to take my little 8-year-old stepson fishing and teach him how to fish. He's 8, so he's just learning. But I like to film that stuff. I like to pump out what I do, my adventures, onto my social media platforms like Facebook. I have a page on Facebook that's verified. I have a regular, private account. I have an Instagram account on Instagram. And I've actually had a couple Instagram accounts. One got deleted because I have a conservative values, so they deleted it. So I realized I can't talk politics on there, otherwise they'll just delete my account. Same thing happened with, I had a really big Twitter account, and a couple years ago, Facebook deleted it because I had conservative values. So can't talk politics on Twitter, and I pretty much just can't talk politics if you're a conservative. So I can't keep having my social media accounts deleted for politics. So the only thing I do is just avoid it. If you want to talk politics with me, we can always sidebar, do that in private discussions and stuff like that. But I can't really be posting that stuff because they'll just delete my account and put me in Facebook jail or whatever. So, but I'm not here to really get into politics too much. I'm really here just to talk about survival skills, promote other people's product, other people's content, and things like that, and just kind of make it very interesting. It's going to be a little bit different than how it used to be when I did radio shows. It was very mundane, too much distractions. I mean, because I was learning, guys, and so I never did it before, so I was trying to do the best I could at the time. I was playing music, and it was just a big distraction. I just didn't know. I was trying to try different things, and it just I got a pretty good turnout on listeners and stuff like that, but it probably could have been better. So we're going to try to do it better. And this time around, I'm going to ask for your input all the time. Hey, how'd you like that episode? What would you like to see more of? What did I do that I should probably think about not doing? How can I make it better? Because if I make it better and you like what I'm making, then that means I'm probably doing it and making it better for every other person as well. And I know that everybody has an opinion, and I'm going to try to make it better for everybody. But we're going to just take it slow, and then we're going to start running with it. So I'm going to start with what they call the crawl, walk, then run. So over the next several weeks, we're going to do the crawl, walk, and run together, because my knowledge is there. My knowledge is very refined. I'm always learning new things. My entertainment isn't watching TV shows. My entertainment is always seeking knowledge, watching educational content. That's just what I like to do in my personal time. I like to build upon and expand my horizons. Some things in my personal life, since I was doing the radio show last time, a couple years ago, before the large gap happened, I was married. I was going through a really nasty separation, and so not to get into those details too much, but it was a bad split, and I had little kids and stuff involved with it, and some issues never really did get resolved. They do need to be resolved, and it's just going to take time. So not to bore you with that, but I have pretty much a new family, a new wife, a stepson, and I pretty much adopted him, and been being a dad to him, trying to be the best dad I can. I've been seeking employment. I did some gig work or gig income. I've done Uber, I've done DoorDash, I've done Lyft, and now I was just like, I have a lot of history and knowledge in the armed security and policing industry, and I just think it would be smart if I went and opened up a security company on the premise that I have 5 best friends that have all owned a security company or still do, and so I've pretty much been doing security outside of the Army or in conjunction while I was serving in the Army for over 24 years. So it's been quite a long time. So I have a very polished set of skills in the security industry, in the personal protection industry, doing executive protection, bodyguard work, and even fugitive recovery. I've done that too. So I've done a lot, because I'm just trying to pay the bills, make ends meet, and do all that. But you can't be successful and be financially independent, unless you're an entrepreneur, really, if you really want to be successful. And I'm getting older, guys. I'm going to turn 49 years old next month, and on December 16th will be my birthday. And so, the best thing I can do is, work really hard, build a security company, and then launch it. And then I have the help, I have the resources, I have people that are experts in the industry that have owned companies that are going to help me build it. So that way I can get to a very profitable measure, staff my company with really good quality employees. And since I'm a veteran, my company is going to be pro-veteran. And I'm going to continue to do the radio show and talk about survival stuff. I would like to get to a point where I can open up a different venue doing the same thing, but on a better venue than the venue I'm here on, where I can have callers call in or have guest speakers come on. And because it's always more fun when you have someone there as a guest, and you, or at least they could call in. I wouldn't even mind doing a YouTube channel where I'm interviewing other creators, other survival experts. So we just talk, and then I'll do videos where I'm teaching survival skills outdoors, and it's just going to be a really cool mix I don't want people to get bored, so we're gonna change it up. We're gonna keep it exciting, and then we're gonna do some collaboration work. That's what I really am looking forward to do. I'm getting older, guys, so running around and doing a lot of that hoorah stuff that I would like to be doing and I used to do. I got to watch out because just the other day I coughed and I felt like I hurt my back. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely getting old. So, but got to hit the gym, got to stay fit, got to eat healthy, you got to stay active because if you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing. And I know that, and we've gone through some tough times. We've gone through the COVID-19 crisis. We're still in it. We have, depending on where you live, you're either locked down or you're not locked down. Some counties have voted to remove mask mandates. Some are still enforcing it. People are getting vaccinated. Some people don't want to get vaccinated. Some people are losing their jobs over it. Then some people do get vaccinated and then they're told they have to get booster and then they have to get a booster every 6 months. It's just a revolving door. Who knows what to believe and stuff like that. But hey, look, I believe safety first. I do believe that. And I believe that prevention is the best medicine. I do believe that. Okay. I believe that we are all independent people. I don't think you should be forced to do something that you don't want to do. But if you choose to not do something and it's required, you are taking those risks by not doing it, like losing your job. If you're a registered nurse, yeah, they might not have had a vaccine a year ago. All right. And they might not have had the mandate a year ago, but they have it today. So if you want to continue being a nurse, you either have to get the vaccination and comply, or you're probably going to lose your job. And same with first responders, same with police departments, same with firefighters and paramedics, same with everybody in the industry that has a job. And then there's people, that have suffered losses due to COVID-19. There's people that, so COVID-19 is really up in everybody's face. Then we've had some riots, we've had death and destruction. We just had a man drive over a parade field and just kill 5 people and wound like 40 people in an SUV. That just happened. And it's disgusting. And he was a career criminal. We have Kyle Rittenhouse. Half the nation supports him. Half the nation is against him. I have friends that believe he should have been convicted. I have friends that think he should have never even stood trial. And, so where I stand with that is, I always stand with the right to self-defense. So, but I also, as a parent, I wouldn't want my teenage kid running around the streets with a rifle in the middle of a riot. It just seemed like, I see you're eager. I see you want to make a difference. But today's probably not that day for you. All right. But when he got attacked, I do believe anybody has a right to self-defense, especially when someone's trying to hit you in the head with a skateboard that has wheels and metal trucks on it, that if it hits you just right, it could crack your skull and kill you. I don't believe that you should, like the prosecuting attorney pretty much was hinting to, that, yeah, if, someone's attacking you, sometimes you just have to take an ass beating. No, I don't believe that you should have to take an ass beating. I believe that you have a right to defend yourself regardless of who it is. And then since I did the radio show, we had the George Floyd thing. And, hey, look, I realize it. Our nation is completely politicized and greatly divided, largely divided because of the politicians and largely divided because of the media outlets. All I can say is inherently right from wrong. You do know inherently right from wrong. Some people don't know inherently right from wrong, but most people do. Okay, some people don't, and they'll be like, they might have some medical diagnosis or handicap or some personality disorder, like they're narcissistic or schizophrenic or something like that. But I'm not a doctor. Okay, but I believe that the average person has an inherent knowledge of right to wrong. Because God writes that on your heart, says so in the Bible. So since you last heard from me on this radio platform, I did go get ordained. I wouldn't really say that I got ordained by a very reputable church, but I did get ordained so I could do weddings, funerals, and I decided, you know what? the church might not be reputable, but I'm going to start getting a close walk with God and get to know Jesus and get to know the Word, study Bible prophecy, and I had done just that. So I have expanded my knowledge on Christianity and the Lord quite a bit over the last 2 years, enough that I can actually teach a sermon, and I became a pastor, but I want to walk right with God, and I want to be a good ambassador to Him. So I kind of recently decided, you know what, I'm almost ready, but I'm not quite ready. So I'm gonna step back because I was so eager. I wanted to go out and save souls for the Lord, and witness for the Lord. And I believe we can witness every day, but I don't want to go and present myself too quick before I was ready. So I just felt the Lord whisper in my ear, I need you to go back and study more with me and read the Word. And so I was like, okay, so I'm being obedient. But I will talk about the Lord on different channels, but not necessarily on this radio station. But I just want to put it out there. Those are some of the things I have done. And so, good news is that old TV show, that old movie I did, Skookum, The Hunt for Bigfoot. It was a low budget film. It got nominated to be in a film festival recently. So as I get more information about that, I'll share. I'm not sure how that movie was received. I only had a small part in it. I think I had maybe like a minute in there, if even a minute. But it was fun, and that actual movie opened up a lot of doors for me later on, and I ended up doing a whole entire television series. I started in 9 episodes. There was the 101 episode, which was the introductory episode, the sneak peek. It was an hour long, or like 46 minutes long. And then there was 8 episodes. It aired on Discovery Channel. You can watch it on Apple TV. You can watch it on Discovery Plus app, or on your streaming device like Roku through the Discovery Plus app, or you can watch it on Discovery Go. And I think as long as you have a cable provider, you can log in through your cable provider account, and then you can watch Ultimate Ninja Challenge on there. But I wasn't 100% really content with the show. It was fun, and then it wasn't fun sometimes. But I don't want to put any spoilers out there for you if you haven't seen the show. I want you to watch everything. Some people walked away loving me, and some people walked away they didn't like me on the camera. And I think that was just because of the dramatics, the drama involved. And a lot of people don't understand when they're watching the show why I reacted in certain ways, because they didn't show the cause and effect. They just show, the what happened on the camera, but there's a reason why things were happening on camera, but it was caused by stuff going on off camera. And it was a lot of personality conflicts and egos, and people just weren't getting along and stuff like that. Some of it did get caught onto the camera, and one guy named JD, I just didn't like the way he was talking to me. I thought it was disrespectful. I knew he was a soldier, but I knew I outranked him in the Army. So I was like, bro, you're a veteran. You're not in the Army. I'm a veteran. I'm not in the Army, but I know I outranked you. So watch how you're speaking to me, bro. You might be a black belt. You might be an expert with knife fighting. And if he wanted to fight me, he probably would have messed me up, because the guy was pretty lethal. I seen him just practicing. I was like, damn, that guy is really good at knife fighting. But still, regardless if you could kill me or not, you're at least going to respect me while you're killing me. So I put him in check, and he didn't like that. And next thing I know, man, from that point on, it all went downhill, because I put that guy in check, and he went around whispering to other people's ear behind my back and trying to turn people against me. And he did. He was successful at it. There was a couple nice characters on there, but there's also a bunch of weak characters on there too. And but I don't want to ruin the show. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You'll probably at least enjoy it. It's really nicely edited and put together. It's just, for me, that was the personality conflicts. But I was there, and so you might find something totally different. But you might find someone else on the show that you like and become their fan. Hey, all the more power to you. I encourage you. I don't want everybody to just like me. You can like my enemy too, because that's what Jesus said. Love your enemy. So, and I wouldn't actually consider them people my enemy. I don't even think that they probably think of me on a daily basis. I give myself too much credit. But I don't think about them on a daily basis either. But, we did start a TV show together, and I don't hate anybody. I'm very forgiving. And so it's best to have a forgiving nature, forgiving heart, and be thankful for the opportunity that I had. And I got paid pretty good for that show. And so I'm just, it's better to be humble. And that's something I've learned over the last few years, is a lot of humility. And so you're going to hear a lot of changes in who I am on radio this time around. And I think it will be more attractive to you as a listener. And so this is just an announcement. This isn't going to be a survival episode, but I have been away from radio for a couple years. And so it's time to jump back in the saddle, start putting out some content, and I'm probably going to have to get on board with YouTube and do some videoing, and make time for that. I just don't know how often I can commit to doing the video with my workload. So, but with a radio show, a talking point radio show like this, it's fairly easy. I can do it on my day off. So I know I get 2 days off a week from working. And so it's possible that I can go out and do some local Bay Area filming and teaching about, edible plants, just critical skills, how to build a shelter, blah, blah, blah. But in California, I've noticed that when I am out in nature, there's a lot of times where fire is not allowed for obvious reasons, because we have a lot of wildfires out here. So starting a fire using primitive method or any other method might be banned. So that's the only bad thing about being in California, trying to do filming for survival content. But we'll get around it. There's always other things I can teach. I can always find content that is, people can utilize. And there's a lot of content already out there by other creators like Survival Lily, Les Stroud, Dave Canterbury's got his own YouTube channel now, and a lot of the guys are getting kind of away from TV. And I'll tell you the real truth about TV and survival: it's getting a little played out. It's kind of been played out for a little while now. I mean, they've had a lot of survival shows out there on television, and a lot of people, what I would say, maybe accused of stolen valor. Maybe some of them didn't do stolen valor. There's a lot of celebrities infighting. There's one celebrity likes to cyberbully other people on TV. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't have time for that stuff. Usually when those people try to come at me, I just ignore them. I'll block them. They can say whatever they want about me. It's not true, so they're not going to get a rise out of me or even an acknowledgement, and they'll try to threaten you and all that stuff. You just got to sometimes be a duck and let it roll off your feathers, man, and just stay focused on what's important in life. This life is real short, It passes you by, and the older you get, the faster it goes. When you're young, it seems slow and stuff like that, and then as you get older, the days just go whipping by quick. It's amazing how fast things go by, and so we gotta live pretty righteously. Okay, so but the one thing is staying alive. Okay, so if you're lost and stranded in the wilderness, I want you to have something I say jog your memory to help you realize, oh yeah, I do know that. Oh yeah, that's right. I did learn that when I was in scouting, or my dad did teach me that, or I did learn that hanging out with my friends, or I went out and learned that lesson a couple years ago. That's right. Because a lot of skills are perishable skills. If you're not putting them to practice, you might not be able to perfect them off the bat. It's like primitive fire, starting a fire using the hand drill, the bow drill, the fire plow, the fire thong, or the fire piston. Any of these fire methods, or the flint strike, or even using a ferrocerium rod to strike a fire with like a metal match. If you're not practicing how to use it, it's not necessarily always going to come easy. You're going to have to, it might take you a while to get a fire started, especially it depends on the conditions out there. It's also like, when was the last time you went and did your pace count for a 100-meter pace count? Because most maps, especially military grid reference point maps, MGRS, they're all in metric, so kilometers and meters. So if you're not running out there every once in a while, as you get older, you realize your pace count changes. As you gain weight or lose weight, your pace count changes. You need to know your even terrain pace count and your uneven terrain pace count. So you need to mark that off, and then know, every time your left foot hits the ground or your right foot hits the ground, whatever foot that you like to count, count that as 1 until you travel 100 paces, and then you'll know if you have a 67 pace count for 100 meters, or if it's now 76. So, because that changes too, and then, the best survivalist is always going to be a fit survivalist, because if you're unfit, unhealthy, and that's going to impact your ability to do a lot of things that you may have to do if you're in a survival situation. So I'm always going to get out there and try to promote fitness, and I need to apply that to myself, because over the past 2 years, I gained a few pounds, and before I had a 6-pack and I was going to the gym every day, but then COVID came around, the gyms shut down, and then my life got kind of changed and disrupted a little bit, and I wasn't able to go do those things, and I wanted to, made a few efforts, but it just didn't work out. So I'm going to be motivated to get back in shape, especially as I'm getting older, because if you don't jump on being in shape and get fit, you're just not going to do it. You're always going to find an excuse not to. So the times for excuses have to end, and it has to have excuses to get out there and do it and be a doer instead of a talker, or just being lazy. So there's no time for being lazy. I mentioned that I'm a Christian. I'm not a perfect Christian. I'll never be a perfect Christian, because we're all sinners. But I'm going to strive to be the best version of me I can be to please my God, all right? But I'm going to fall sometimes. Sometimes I'm going to slip up and say a swear word, and I'm going to do or say something that I shouldn't have to somebody else. That might be the many years of being in the military for me in the combat arms MOS, where I'm very blunt. I kind of have a blunt personality. And then sometimes I'm very nice and charming as well. But I just always try to be a good ambassador for Christ. And when I think I'm falling weak, I want to make myself better. So that's what I'm about. And that's what I'm working on. I'm really working lately on my relationship with God, being a good provider, a good man, a good father, and I have kids with my ex, and I have 2 daughters and a son with my ex, and they live with her, and she makes it impossible for me to be able to communicate with my children, see them. She moves, she'll change addresses, not notify me, block me off of social media, change her phone number. She's just very selfish, and so I just put it in the Lord's hands. Let the Lord deal with that. Since we live in 2 different states, it's harder to do anything through the courts with her, and it's very expensive. So, so I, like many of you, have to deal with those everyday life challenges, but I deal with it. And the one thing you'll find about me is I never get depressed. I always look for the positives, and I try to be positive. I try to be genuinely positive, not fake positive where I put on a front. If I'm upset about something, I'll let you know, hey, I'm upset. But my radio show is not here to complain, but I have been away without filming a recording a radio show, or even doing TV for a little while. So now I'm going to come back. I'm going to make my efforts. I'm going to try to put out really good content, and and be relatable and stay relatable, but stay humble. And so I want you people that are listening to my radio shows as I produce them, because officially I'm going to put out radio shows starting on November 25th. I want you guys to know that it's going to be viable content. It's going to be content that you can use and put to practice. And also, I'm going to introduce you to so many other good creators that are out there that are doing things that sometimes I don't have the time to do myself. So since I can't do it, I want to introduce you to them. And then your motivation is sometimes I'm going to get to be out there and go do that. And I'll even be able to film it and publish the film and use like YouTube channel to publish the film or some other video venue. And then your motivation to come back and tune in every week is, hey, who's Dan going to share with me, this week, but this week coming up, I'm going to talk a lot about, Matt and Mackie from Field Days, channel from YouTube, and discuss some of the things that I watched, them do. And, they got a great thing going, and I want to share that with you. There's another channel called Corporal's Corner, really good survival content. He likes to build a variety of different shelters, teaches you, a bunch of skill sets on how to do fire, build shelters, different types of shelters, and cooking and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's a nice escape. You get home from work, you don't feel like listening to drama, so you're not going to tune on a TV show with a bunch of drama on it, and you just want to watch something that's just, oh, that's cool. Oh, I like how he does that. Oh, wow, I never thought of that. Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. So that's how he does it. Okay, well, I might try that next time. It looks a little easier than how I did it. Or, you know what, I'm going to write that guy a note saying, hey, try it this way because I think, so give a good positive critique. That's a good thing that we all like. Hey, look, if you know something we don't know, get in the comment section and write a comment and let us know, hey, bro, I like what you're doing, but I was out last week and I tried it that way and it was way easier because I used to do it how you're doing it, and then somehow I stumbled on this. So it's just positive critiques. We're out here, a lot of the creators, a lot of the entertainers, and a lot of the educators out here that are putting out radio shows and videos and contents and TV shows. A lot of us, we have every good intention in our hearts to put out something of quality, but we don't know everything. There's no school that you can go get a doctorate degree in the field of survival. A lot of this is by trial and error, just by getting out there, by sharing what we know, by what we see other people doing, or what we have done ourselves, and by our life experiences, from when we're little kids growing up. Some of us have grown up doing all this our entire life. Some of us kind of got into it because of our military service. Some of us got into it only because we started watching survival shows and we're like, that looks like a great time. I really enjoyed that. I want to go do it myself. And next thing, you're out there doing it all the time and you start filming yourself. Next thing you know, you got a following and you just learned so much in the last 10 years. And so, and for me, I've been doing this most of my entire life, being out in the woods. Give credit to my hippie mom for taking me out in the woods. She had a boyfriend that was an avid hunter. Took me out, taught me hunting, trapping, everything. I was trapping animals in Washington State out in the woods. I had my own traps when I was like 11, 12 years old. I was I guess you would say I was just kind of born for it. I always knew I wanted to join the Army, and I did, and I served about 18 years. And I probably would have done 20 years, but I knew my marriage was ending, and I did not want to get a divorce and stay in the Army. I needed to get out, and so that's one reason why I got out. The other reason I got out was because I had already spent 3.5 years in a hostile combat zone, in hostile territory, deployed. And I had 42 months in hostile territory on my DD-214 honorable discharge form. And I was like, man, if I stay in, I'm going to have to go back to Iraq or Afghanistan again. And, I was already having problems with the deployments of me being gone for so long, and so I know what it's like to be cheated on in a relationship while you're off, and then you find out that, the person you're married to is messing around with other dudes, or other people. And so I know how that is, and I had to go through that. And none of us are impervious to what goes on, we all share a lot of experiences in common, but it's how you manage those experiences, how you rise above it. I hope that she's a good mom to my kids, but since I don't get to see her or them, not that I would really care to see her, but I would like to see my kids, but I don't get to see my kids, therefore I'm not seeing her. I don't know how she is raising my kids. I don't really know a lot about it. And so I'm one of those dads out there that it's pretty common, but the lady takes the children and runs with the kids and then goes into hiding, and the guy's like, I don't even know where they're at, and how to serve her papers to get a divorce or to take her to court for custody, because, I'm one of those dads that have to really suffer that. I've just gotten better with it a little bit over time, especially because I have a stepson now, that he's 8 years old, and, he's my own kid, part of the reason why he's my own kid is because his biological father passed away when he was only 3 years old. And when I met Constantine, he was 5, and now Constantine's 8 years old. And so, he's a great kid, and, and I love him. And as far as I'm concerned, he's my kid. And so I'll be sharing a lot of my family adventures with you, because I'm always taking my family out. Matter of fact, a couple weekends ago, we went up to Virginia City, Nevada, and we stayed in a haunted hotel, which is kind of weird because I'm a Christian, but we stayed in a haunted hotel. But we really went there for the ambiance of Virginia City, because I went one time to Tombstone, Arizona. I thought that was a really cool place, and I heard that Virginia City was kind of like that, and I got there, and it was a lot like, pretty much, pretty similar to each other, except for Virginia City's pretty high up there in the elevation in the mountain, and but it was cool. I got to stay at the Silver Queen Hotel. It's the same hotel that Ghost Adventures went and filmed at with Zach, and I think it's where Zach got his very first anomaly on camera in his whole entire career. And then we went and looked at the rest of the town and went to some other haunted locations and stuff like that. But it was fun. I personally didn't see any ghosts. I wasn't really sure I was going to see any in the first place because I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in demons. I believe that those are real, but I don't believe ghosts exist, only because of what the Bible says about the dead. The dead sleep, have no thoughts under the sun, and so when you die, everything's blank. It's not that you don't exist anymore, it's that you are asleep, says the Bible. And when the second coming of Jesus comes down is when you get caught up to him if you're a person of faith, and then the living that's alive, when he comes down, will be caught up to him in the air after the dead, and then we will inherit our spiritual bodies, and then we will turn around with him and come fight evil, and come down. So that's what the Bible says. So, but the Bible also says that the dead sleep, have no thoughts under the sun, so there's no ghosts. So when you see paranormal hunters out there, and they see something like a shadow figure, they're seeing a demonic presence, and they're seeing a fallen angel. They're seeing demons. And that I do believe, because Jesus got off the boat and saw a possessed man and then cast the demon into a little cluster of pigs, and the pigs ran off and went and drowned themselves. So, and the disciples were doing exorcising demons out of people all the time. So, and that's all in the Bible. But no, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe Aunt May is going to be lingering around the house because she can't find the light. No, I don't believe in all that. Okay, I think that's a deception. Just like I don't believe in aliens. I think that's all a deception. If anything, they might not be aliens. It could be demons, because the Bible says the devil controls the sky. He's the ruler of the earth. He rules the earth because the earth is full of sin. The earth is full of worldly ways, and worldly ways and sin come from the beast. So, but God is the God of heaven, and He's the God of the universe, and He's the God of all things. He's the God. So that's what I believe. But as far as preaching, when we do the radio show and get into the episodes, I'm not really going to do that. This is just a really personal, catered to me talking point, because I've been away. A lot of my listeners that were faithful subscribers, they haven't got to hear me for a while. I'm not one of those people that gets onto social media and puts my personal life on blast. So this is pretty much it for you guys. I'm going to just get out there and say, hey, look, this is me. This is my challenges, what I went through. I know you guys have gone through challenges. I've seen on social media, I've lost some friends to COVID-19. I lost a battle buddy like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, to COVID-19 that served within the Army. And, and I lost other friends as well, to other illnesses and stuff like that. And, it's just kind of a part of life, and, I believe surviving grief is, a survival skill. How do you combat grief? So when I talk survival, I'm going to be all over the board on survival. So I'm going to do with a hard focus on actual surviving outdoors, but I'm also going to do from time to time, I'll do a special episode about surviving depression, surviving suicide, because those are all prevalent things that need to be talked about, and they don't just affect veterans, it affects everybody, so, there's resources out there you can use, and the weak man doesn't choose to get help. The strong man chooses to get help, but there's a stigmata, in society where men think asking for help when they're depressed is a sign of weakness, makes them less a man. No, man, that's not true at all. It's the opposite. A man that doesn't ask for help when he needs help, that's a weak man, because he's worried about other people's opinions too much. Hey, look, you go get help and you're going to be back on your feet because you went and got help. You're going to be a stronger man again because of you asking for help. So I believe that. All right. And if it wasn't true, I wouldn't tell it to you. So, if you're suicidal, get help, but get professional help. Your battle buddy that you used to drink with on the weekend, he's not the guy that's going to solve your problems. He's the guy that should be referring you to the suicide hotline number, or getting you in front of a counselor, or getting you into an AA meeting. That's the guy. That's what he should do. But the guy that's going to help you, or the girl that's going to help you, that's the professional that's trained at what your problem is, and has helped other people escape that problem by beating it and staring it face to face and staring it down, and then following a set of rules or standards to defeat it, and with a proven system, or giving you a support network with other people that relate to you a little bit better because they deal with it themselves, but they've beat it, so it's like, I've never been suicidal, but I've had friends that are suicidal, and so I've been to suicidal first responder training when I was in the Army. So I get it, and I'm compassionate about that. And, it's just like we all just need to pull each other together and form a community. Plus, we're very polarized politically in our country right now. I am a patriot. I serve my country. I've been to war, so I believe in, what the ideals of the symbolism of the American flag stands for and our national anthem. I don't believe our country is 100%, pure. We're a country that has to learn and grow as we go. That's why our country is called the Great Experiment. All right. I believe in patriotism. I believe that our constitutional rights are protected, and they are protected supremely by the supreme law of the land. I don't like when politicians take an oath to defend, protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against enemies, foreign and domestic, and then immediately, as soon as they take office, turn around and go attack it. I think that's not cool. All right. Don't attack my free speech. Facebook, stop attacking free speech. Twitter, stop attacking free speech. Instagram, which is still Facebook, or Meta, stop attacking free speech. Social media platform companies, stop attacking free speech, because the only speech that they want you to have is the speech that they agree with, and that is not free speech. We need to come up with some laws that regulate them doing that. They cannot do that, and if they do that, they could be sued. All right. So, and it opens them up to litigation instead of being protected from litigation. So, it's insane how much money and time I put in on my Twitter account. And just because I have a political view about something, and since they say that goes against their community standards and guidelines, they could just delete your account. You know how much money I have on that account? Because advertisement, whenever I paid money for graphics, whatever, it costs me money, a lot of money, when they delete your account like that, because of the time and energy it took to grow the account. It's like they just said, you're nothing, and they throw your stuff away. So, like you, all of you that have been in Facebook jail, all of you that have been in, had your accounts deleted, I get it. I've been there, and I've had to bounce back. I also realize that our constitutional rights to free speech only protect us from the government, but not private companies. Well, we need to change that, because a private company shouldn't have the right to decide, if they opening up a public forum and where the mass public's invited to it, then they shouldn't be able to violate your free speech. But also, you shouldn't be able to go out there and threaten people, But nothing I ever said in what I wrote ever was a threat. It was an opinion. And so, just like you probably expressed an opinion. You probably shared a meme. I've seen it get so ridiculous where you share a photo of little kids playing in a field, and then it gets tagged inappropriate content because, by a fact checker. So someone needs to fact check the fact checkers, or fact checkers need to be open to litigated lawsuits, where you can sue them when they fact check you, and what they fact checked you about was inaccurate because they were doing it based off of political bias. Political bias should not be allowed to be a part of fact checking. But since it's unregulated, fact checkers, they're able to do whatever they want. So Congress and the Senate need to work at regulating fact checkers, and they need to be allowed to be sued, because they're not the social media publication company themselves. They're a private company under a contract, so they shouldn't have the same protections. And these big companies shouldn't be able to sidestep and find loopholes like that to violate your civil rights. So that is all part of survival, guys. So you'll hear me talk about rubbing sticks together, and you're going to hear me talking about protecting your free speech. But I'm going to try to get away from talking about politics. I'm not going to get on here and talk about Joe Biden, Donald Trump. I'm not going to get on here and talk about AOC or Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer so much. I might make a reference on once in a great while if something really stupid happens. But my main focus is survival content. I'm not going to get on here and preach sermons. But I might. But you're going to know I'm a Christian. And if you're not a Christian and you're a Muslim or whatever your faith is, and you drop a comment, I don't expect you to be a Christian if you're not a Christian. I would like you to be. I'm going to try to be a good ambassador and a good witness. But I'm not going to look at you any differently if you're not a Christian. And I'm not going to go single you out, trying to hunt you down and force Jesus down your throat either. So my radio show, talk show, podcast is all going to be about survival stuff and survival stuff that's related. But you have to understand, to like my show, you got to understand where I come from. So I have conservative values. That's going to come out irregardless. in my radio show. You're gonna, because I believe that we have the inherent right to be armed as a society, and it's not armed to go hunting. It's not armed for self-defense. It's armed so if we ever have a tyrannical government, we can rise up and defend ourselves and protect our rights and defend our Constitution from tyrannical politicians and government. That is why we have the Second Amendment, and that is the only reason we have the Second Amendment. It isn't so we can go hunting for deer, or it isn't all these regulations on weapons and how many bullets you can have. Those are all violations of supreme law, like gun control. That violates the supreme law, of the Constitution of the United States. But it seems, the High Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, that's supposed to protect the U.S. Supreme Law, the Constitution of the United States, sometimes doesn't always protect it because the U.S. Supreme Court split. So, America is going to change, and it's going to slowly change into something else. And I want you guys to know that. So there's going to be a point in time where you might have to pass down these skills to your grandkids, these survival skills, because they might be the ones that ultimately need it, because the grocery stores won't have food on the table. They're going to need to know how to go hunting. They're going to have to need to know how to go fishing. They might get to a point where rent is $10,000 a month just for a studio apartment. They're not going to be able to afford it. And gasoline's going to be $22 a gallon one day. You know what I mean? And everybody's going to have a electric car, and not everybody's going to be able to afford an electric car. It's just, it's going to get to a point where you're going to need to know how to survive off the land, if you can't survive in, the city. You know what I mean? So, I have those skills. I know if I wanted to, I could leave society, go up into the mountains, and never come back down. I'll just bring with me what I need, and I have the ability to create out there what I need, so, and if I ever need something, I'll come down, grab it, and head right back, like if I need black powder to make my own ammo, something like that, but so we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff over the next, season, because I'm going to launch a new season of this radio show come, Thursday on November 25th. So this is Dan Shrigley. I really enjoyed just sharing with you, but I got commitments I got to bounce out to, and I will talk to you on November 25th, the airing of the new episode, which will be episode 35. All right? Take care. Tune into Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. You can look up hashtag Dan Shrigley, or Survival Talk Radio, or Survival Trek Escape Talk Radio. And you should be able to find the radio show on either Spreaker, iHeart, or Apple Podcasts. Survival Talk Radio. This is Dan Shrigley. Out.